So welcome back to another video. Today we're taking a look at the scenario where France reforms the French Empire. Now the French Empire wasn't one of the strongest empires. It had a lot of land. Oh god. It owned a big part of this part of Africa. I mean, it didn't own Libya, but I can't exactly draw. It's kind of something like that. It went down to Chad, around there, it had Madagascar. It previously did have, I think, it had Louisiana, obviously, so that's the USA. And then French Indochina. So, today, France will be reforming this empire, and they're gonna have a pretty easy time. The only real challenge they're gonna have is fighting Tunisia, Algeria, and Morocco. Maybe Cameroon, I don't think so really. The train obviously in the deserts. And then obviously the hardest part is going to be having to take over Vietnam. But after that, I think they're going to be fine. So France is ready to reform the French Empire. By the way, NATO doesn't exist, none of those alliances exist. Nobody will be getting involved if they declare war on allies. So if France invades Morocco, the USA will not be getting involved. So we have France readying its navy for their first invasion, and probably going to be one of the hardest wars they're going to have to face. We have the French navy mobilizing around here in the Black Sea, and they line up on the coast of Algeria. These two have really horrible, I wouldn't say horrible, but they have bad relations in real life, not to the point where they'll go to war. But here, Algeria realizes that this is not good. France after not much preparing, declares war on Algeria. Now, obviously, this would lead to Morocco joining the war, but let's just say they don't join the war, because I think that'd be a little bit unfair for France. France immediately makes a landing right by Algiers, as well as making a landing here by Tunisia. They capture Oran, one of the major cities in Algeria, and they are able to encircle Algiers with really an issue. From here, they link up with this landing to create one solid front, and they push down. Now, if you don't know about Algeria, this entire area down here is a desert. The coast is more of the important part, and with the capture in Algiers happening with quick ease, and France pushing down into what would remain of the most populated areas of Algeria, we just have France kind of destroying Algeria. Algeria decides that this war is going to go nowhere and surrenders. So let's take a look at this peace treaty. So France has now probably quadrupled their size with annexing the 10th largest country in the world. And this is the beginning of the third French Empire, people would say. Would it be fourth French Empire? I don't know if the Napoleon Empires count. So now we have the French army preparing its invasion from Morocco, probably the last hard war they'll have to do in, obviously, Africa. But France declares war on Morocco, and Morocco is weaker than I think they're stronger than Algeria. No, Algeria is the second strongest country in Africa. But, France sees an offensive by Morocco. France does struggle with the mountain terrain that Morocco kind of has, like, right here. But France is reforming an empire. They don't exactly care. So they do eventually get through it with pain. They capture Rabat, they capture any other major city, and Morocco just kind of dies. So let's take a look at this peace treaty. So in the peace treaty, France annexes all of Morocco. I don't think I need to say they're going to annex all of Morocco. It's obvious. They're reforming the French Empire. And yeah, I'm not including Louisiana because I don't think France would be able to fight the USA. And also, that would be ugly. Like, having the middle of the USA and just cut them in half. Remember, back when France had Louisiana, the USA didn't own this. I think Mexico owned California. Yeah, they did. I don't know who owned up here. I think that was done to discover land at that point. It wasn't, but for the Europeans it was. So we have France doing a quick invasion of Tunisia. This was very noticeable, and at this point, France tells Northern Africa, "Don't worry, we're not going to invade any other countries." I mean, they don't need to, but they could if they wanted. So France takes all of Tunisia, and now they're going to do what some countries would see as a really ballsy move. They're going to declare war on multiple countries at once, and multiple countries include Mauritania, Mali, and Niger. And we may as well throw Burkina Faso in there as well. So yeah, this is going to alarm Nigeria, who realises that France is now rapidly expanding into Africa. France tells them not to worry, we're not going to invade you. I mean, yeah. And now French armies start to steamroll into... Mali's not a weak country, but compared to other countries, they are weak. Mauritania, they begin the invasion of Mauritania. This is a very strong border, and they're in the desert. Mauritania's got, like, nothing. Mauritania's probably the weakest country here. Mali is starting to get invaded, and Mali is definitely the strongest country on the team, so they will be the one carrying the team. No. By the way, the French is just invading desert. They're losing a lot of people who are doing this, but in reality, I don't think it's worth it to, kind of do that. Oh, actually, it would. So we do actually have the French Navy going around West Sahara and making a landing on where Mauritania's capital is. They take all the coast, and Mauritania literally crumbles like a cookie. Mauritania is basically just focused on the coast. They have nothing else except for maybe an inland. Now with French troops on the border of Mali, they kind of realise that this is game over for them. The French troops from the desert called back, and French troops straight away head to Bamako. Niger, who starts to get invaded, realises that this war's not going to work, so they just opt to surrender. And the same's going to go for Burkina Faso. They decide that it's just better not to. So yeah, obviously it makes sense. The strongest country's left. Mali does lose Bamako. They keep fighting until the government finally falls and surrenders. So let's take a look at this massive peace treaty. So France fully annexes all of the countries, obviously. Now, Western Sahara, in real life, if France were to form another empire, they would invade Western Sahara. Although it's part of Morocco. But in this timeline, Morocco's been already invaded by France, and in reality, Morocco was part of the French Empire. Western Sahara was part of the Spanish Empire, so France doesn't have anything to do with Western Sahara. Whoops, I must have moved. At this point, France is kind of feeling like they don't even need to invade these countries. It'll just be a waste of resources. So they kind of send over some ultimatums demanding for these countries to join. But even probably the weakest country here sees no issue with accepting it. Benin would have no chance. Togo as well, they are very weak. And they do actually see it better to be part of the French Empire. The French Empire isn't, doing slavery right now. They're not forcing people to work. They just want to reform their empire. So they see that it's better for their economy to rejoin the French Empire. However, for maybe some of the stronger countries like the Ivory Coast and Guinea, they're not really having it right now. Senegal decides that there's really no chance of winning against the French, so they just opt to join as well. But Guinea and Ivory Coast are being a bit of a pain right now for France, as they don't want to join. France keeps saying we're going to invade you if you don't join, but Ivory Coast and Guinea keep saying we're not joining. Eventually, we kind of have Guinea putting two and two together, realizing that this wouldn't work if they didn't accept. So Guinea joins the French Empire, but the Ivory Coast is not accepting. So France is going to teach them a lesson. France guys won the Ivory Coast. And the government kind of realized they made a mistake. The government was saying no. The people were like, we have to join, otherwise we're going to get killed. The army doesn't even fight. The government tells the army to fight, but compared to the French army, which is most likely in the top 5 strongest at this point, Ivory Coast has no chance. If it isn't obvious, I think we know what the piece. So now France is taking over all of the land they owned. They don't bother with Ghana, Sierra Leone, Guinea-Bissau, Gambia, Liberia, because they are focused on mainly the land they wanted to take. And at this point, the French Empire would already be collapsing, but they're not. So now we have them going over to Chad and demanding Chad to join. Yep, Chad's being absolute Chad this time, and they just accept it. Chad is obviously going to understand what would happen if they didn't. I mean, I think everybody just saw what happened to Ivory Coast. However, the other countries here are being dumb, so they're not joining, obviously. Cameroon, the strongest country left that France needs in Africa, they're about to be taught a lesson. CAR is also going to be taught a lesson. The Republic of the Congo and Gabon also be better not have the best time of their life. Probably the worst, actually. Okay, forget it. The French army is, at this point, massive. Cameroon, the strongest country here, doesn't even stand a chance. They're wiped out within the first few days. Not days, but weeks. And if it is obvious, these countries have no chance. So let's take a look at this piece, Shooty. So, yep, those countries are all part of the French Empire. Now let's speak in French. So, the French Empire now is... I don't know. They are definitely one of the larger countries in the world. I'll put them probably third. I'm saying that like that because I don't know about Canada. They're definitely not bigger than Russia. I feel like even if they take all the land they need, I don't think Russia's gonna be. I don't think they're gonna be anywhere near Russia. Now they just need Madagascar. If it isn't obvious, I don't think that's gonna be much of an issue. And now France, the French Navy, is gonna go from Africa all the way over to French Indochina, the last place they need to be. Well, actually, they'll probably be going from Madagascar. They meet up with Vietnam, and Vietnam realizes, but Vietnam is not scared. This is because Vietnam has experience with fighting countries. So we have France declare war on Vietnam in their toughest war yet. At the same time, they also declare war on Cambodia and Laos, because it's not really a... They don't declare war on Laos, that's landlocked. So they declare war on Cambodia and Vietnam at the same time, and this is going to be hard. France has an idea to push through Cambodia and take out Ho Chi Minh City. So French troops immediately just pour into Cambodia. Cambodia doesn't even stand a chance. Phnom Penh's captured without an issue, and Cambodia's knocked up the war right away. From here on, we have the French army declaring war. We have French army. France declares war on Laos. Yeah, France is doing a lot right now. This is their final chance. But somehow, Vietnam's fighting back. France has no idea how, but it's because, well, Vietnam has experience, and this is probably going to be a massive stalemate for France, because this is Vietnam. No country has a good time invading Vietnam. So we have the French army come back over here, invading Cambodia again, which is probably just a... It's probably just a pit at this point because of the French army and the Vietnamese army. And now they begin the most tough war they've ever had. They are able to encircle the area where Ho Chi Minh City is and capture it all. This is because Vietnam is protecting Laos and also up here where their capital is, Hanoi. they have quite a bit of forces. They don't have many forces, but they have Laos and Vietnam also having their forces in Vientiane. I think that's the capital of Laos. So now with France pushing up Vietnam, this is what they want. So we have France pushing up Vietnam in definitely one of the toughest wars in France's invasion. The only other hard war they had was against I don't know, Algeria. Algeria put up the biggest fight, although it wasn't much. They again their invasion of Laos, which they are able to capture the half it, but eventually they meet up with the forces in North Laos and Vietnam, and we have a stalemate that goes on for years and years. And I'm joking, not years, months and months to see what happens. If it isn't obvious, the enemies of Vietnam, so like China and North Korea, Russia, any enemy of Vietnam is supporting France in this war. They don't want Vietnam on the map anymore, and eventually France is able to make a breakthrough and is able to push up into Laos, and Vietnamese troops are immediately called out of Laos, which ends up both the country being capitulated. Now Vietnam is very scared as they have a lot of French troops on their border, and don't get me wrong, this is going to be very painful, but France begins their invasion of Vietnam at a very slow rate. They don't even care about the jungle, it's just for some reason Vietnam's very good at fighting wars, but eventually they're able to capitulate Vietnam. France has taken over French Indochina. Let's take a look at this speech tree. So just like that, French Indochina is back, and the French Empire is now back in modern day. I'm sure a lot of countries are liking this. Yeah, I'm sure one country's liking this. No, the UK's fine with this, they don't actually care. The other country I would see not liking this is the USA, because the USA gets angry when their allies expand. For some reason. I don't know why. I mean, it makes sense, it's war. All I really can see now is French Empire just cleaned up these countries in between them. So in the future, we can see Equatorial Guinea just getting completely obliterated. We can even see Nigeria being invaded. But after that, the French Empire will probably be done expanding. But that's gonna be it for this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.